Welcome back to the morning show on XL7 TV. It's time for This Week in Real Estate with Mr. Bob Zadora. How are you, sir?
I'm good.
Well, how was it for the eclipse sitting where you sit?
The eclipse was pretty cool up there.
Yeah.
It wasn't as dark as I thought it was going to be.
You know,
As I
me
know
neither.
they kind of talked about it being night, but it really wasn't because you could see in the horizons, out in the distance, you could see the blue. But the sun was pretty cool, and the effect and the colors as they changed. In the sun, just as it went dark, and then when it first got light, you don't realize how little of a little sliver would make things so bright,
that's what
so
impressed
fast.
me the most.
I mean, it really, and it kind of it was an eerie kind of light. It kind of was more like a white light than that warm sunlight that you usually get. It was just but it was good. It was very good. We enjoyed
So
it.
at the angle where your house is sitting
Yeah.
on the hill, was it off to your right? Or did it come straight at you? Was it
No,
off
it was
to your
up.
left? How
It was
did
up like over the top of the house,
Okay.
shining back down. 'Cause usually you don't see it up there. It was kind of a unique.
So it was
I
kinda
was
coming from the
hoping
front of
that-
the house toward the river?
Right. I was hoping for more of a shadow type effect,
Right.
but we didn't get that because the sun is it's so bright that even just before it went under, it was still light enough. Jason's got there's a 12-second video that we've got on our website. He compressed the whole thing.
RetiredArkansas.net.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And I think Linda's got a 7-minute of the whole thing. And watching, you can see it. You can see it slowly change, but you can really see like the last few seconds before it gets dark is when you can see the difference. The lights popped on. The little garden lights and things like that. They all popped on, and but it was good. It was good.
I was
Pretty
also
cool.
amazed at how quick it cooled down all of a sudden. And so.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Of course, I was at work and I stepped out for a couple times just to see, and then when it went to totality, I went ahead and went out and took a look at it. The difference to me was how the winds calmed down
Yeah.
and the temperature dropped
Yeah.
so quickly.
Yeah.
If the sun ever burns out, we're going to freeze to death.
Pretty quick. Pretty quick. Yep.
What really shocked me is they talk about how it affects animals, and it's cool to watch what the animals do. My dog never moved off the porch.
Yeah, there's a guy down the road before, as it was starting, like maybe about a quarter of the way to go, and the chickens were going off. The roosters,
My rooster
were going off.
I talked to Tina right beforehand.
Yeah.
And Tina said, as it's starting to get darker, the rooster's going nuts trying to get the hens into the hen house.
Yeah.
And when it went total dark, he's like, what the heck? And it wasn't but that quick, it started to get light
Yeah.
again. So he just quit. I'm on strike. I'm done.
Yeah, that's it. I did my job.
But where I was, of course, I was in town here, and they had a band playing at some location and another one playing at another location. You could hear kind of like the battle of the bands because it was quiet. There were no cars on the road.
Yeah.
It was.
Well,
just-
yeah, because everybody was
they
focusing
just-
on that.
They wanted to
Right.
check that out. So you didn't have any traffic noise, and it was quiet. Of course, we had some people at the building next to us who were hooting and hollering and carrying on. But it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
People were depressed and people were excited all at the same time about not having the influx of people here. I was telling Scooter Monday or Wednesday that I feel people were here.
They were.
There was a good number of people here. They didn't come into the city of Mountain Home.
Right.
Why would you? I mean, if you've got a spot out on the lake or on the river and you can be wide open
Yeah,
world.
you get a 30-foot camper. That's why you got the 30-foot camper, so you don't have to go and get things
Right.
and do things. And that was
But
kind of
the
what
camping
happened.
spots were full.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen pictures of Robinson Point and Panther Bay and Cranfield and all those.
Yeah, Bull
They were all
Shoals, the whole
full.
thing were all full.
We had people here. They didn't come into town Monday. They came into town Monday evening. They came into town Tuesday for sure.
Yeah.
And then even yesterday, even Wednesday and yesterday, we still had a number of out-of-state plates here.
And I went for an oil change in Harrison, and on Tuesday. So when I went out, there was a traffic coming out of Mountain Home, and then by the time I got done and I was coming back in, there was still a lot of traffic on 62, 412. 65 was a mess.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of people that were here, but they were quiet people. It wasn't what others
get
that we
crazy.
had project. Yeah,
They just didn't get
and that was based on all the things that we talked about beforehand. That was based on other counties, other communities and what they experienced in 17 and in the one before that earlier. So you got to kind of go with what they say. Look, this is what happens to us.
But you know, it boils down to you're going to have people complain that it was too busy. You're going to have people complain that it wasn't busy enough.
Sure.
Focus on what the event was itself.
And it was great. It was
It's a
successful. We had the best weather, I think, of anybody
Right.
in the whole
Yeah.
path. I mean, it worked out very well
We
for us.
had a good event, even
Yeah.
though it was non-eventful.
That's what we wanted. We wanted a non-eventful event. Everything went well. John's jail wasn't full. There was no insanity going on anywhere.
Yep.
That's perfect.
Yep.
People just came, had a good time.
What did you see as far as in the real estate world, influx for the real estate world? Did you see people come in and stop and say,
There were
"I
some
want a
people that
brochure or
were
two"?
asking about questions and stuff, just natural curiosity. But like I say, a lot of them weren't in town, so they weren't by the office, but they were online and they were. We've had a number of inquiries. Linda's been talking with a lot of people. Our number of listings is popping up. People are calling and they want to get on the market. It's the spring psychology of, okay, we'll come on the market in the spring. And you can see that in the numbers to some degree. But part of that, we're good. Part of that is home inspections. I've talked about them before. I talk about it periodically. People who say, well, I don't need a home inspection. The house looks fine. They're nice people. And then the new buyer comes because you're leaving to go to wherever it is you're going to go. And now they have a home inspector come in, and the kid gets up in the attic, the inspector, and says, I got to get a master electrician up here. Like, oh? So apparently when the house was wired, they didn't do a real good job. Never burned down, but they didn't do a very good job. So now when Linda asked them, didn't you get the home inspected when you bought? Oh, no, they were so nice, and we just wanted to. Okay, and this was a while ago. It's an older house to begin with, so you really want to be careful with them because there's a lot of the copper, and sometimes you'll see it exposed even, or just the wrapped, cloth wrapped wires, and so the whole house is going to get rewired. So you're leaving, and you're going to pay for the house to get rewired to get done. The importance of home inspections, and in pre-sale home inspections. I can walk through and I can point out things that I know are going to get called out because they get called out all the time. I'm not crawling around in a crawl space. I'm not up in the attic. I'm not an electrician. I'm not a plumber. But I know things that will get called out. And to get that done beforehand, to spend a couple $100 to have a before you come on the market, get it inspected then, so you know what's there. Whatever you're going to do with it is different, but you need to know what's there so that when you do get an offer on it and their home inspector comes through and starts to call things out, you're like, oh my God, I didn't know that. Because most people don't. Who crawls around in a crawl space? Who checks all the electrical outlets to make sure that they're properly wired so you don't blow out your big screen TV? Those are the kind of things that come up that all the time. And so home inspection if you're buying, without a doubt, get the home inspected. But we've been encouraging people, and I read I actually do spend time investigating these things and trying to keep current. A lot of articles about getting the pre-home inspected, because the number of the deals that blow up, and they use the home inspection as the excuse. They say, well, there's so much going on in there. We're not going to deal with all of this, because they got cold feet and they're looking for an out. And when we had Chris Nassar here, he said the biggest thing that blows up deals is home inspections. Well, the home inspections aren't that bad. There's no big deal breakers in there. Sometimes people will just get overwhelmed with the number of things, but they're little things, and they're little cosmetic things, and they're little handyman things. Things that are handyman things are nothing. It's a couple $100, you get the stuff fixed, and you move on. It's just, a lot of times it's deferred maintenance that the home inspectors call out, and that's what you want to know. You want to know what it is you're getting into as a buyer. You want to know what kind of shape the house is in. But they're not all, the sky is falling. You want to have a good general knowledge. You got to take in mind, okay, this is a 30-year-old house. There's going to be some things. There's going to be some settlement cracks. There's just no getting it, especially here. There's the way the earth moves here. We get drought one year and monsoons the next year. Well, that ground is heaving and moving and things like that. So they're there to point those things out to you, make you aware of it, to let you know that there's 10 years left on the shingles. There's 5 years left on the shingles. Okay, fine. So start to save some money, put a little bit aside over the next couple of years so that when that roof does go out, you're ready for it. And that's very, very important for people. We had a guy, 7-year, the guy says, yeah, you got 7 to 10 years left on the house. Well, I want a new roof. Yeah, no, you're not getting a new roof. They're fine. It's functional. It's, he's giving you this information so that you're aware of it and you can be prepared. Same thing with older hot water heaters. They work great. Especially some of the older ones work better than a lot of the new ones. And it's still pumping out that hot water. The tank is clean. It's ready to go. It's still going. Again, put some money aside. Be ready for that when it happens. It's going to happen, but it's going to happen to all of them. I mean, there's no...
Changing one this weekend myself.
There you go. Appliances and making sure that, if it's an older electric stove and one of the burners doesn't work, okay, fine. We'll get that fixed. Electrical things, things that are double taps are a big call out for them. Well, the electrician will take the wires for the doorbell, and he'll put it on with another one. Instead of putting it on its own circuits, they'll just it's not that big of a deal, but it's something that they can call out. So, when we bought our house, the first house we bought, we had the guy come out, and I didn't know who he was from Adam, just name in the phone book. Call him up. The guy calls me back. We're back up in Chicago. He goes, I don't know how to tell you this. I'm like, oh, nuts. He says, I can't find anything wrong with that house. I'm like, and that's a problem because, I feel, he says, I got to the point where I was checking the screws on the outlet covers, and even all of them, every one of them was lined up right. He says, this guy is so OCD but he couldn't find anything wrong with the house. I said, that's a good thing to hear, right? Well, I know, but I know people, and that's what happens. They feel that they're not doing their job if they don't find something.
Right.
So a lot of times stuff that gets called out it's like, okay, I got to find something, so we'll call this out. But again, the importance of home inspections cannot be overstated, especially for buyers. I mean, if you come to anybody that's ever come to us and said, we don't need a home inspection, I made him sign it. We did up a little form saying, Bob told me to get a home inspection, but I'm a lot smarter than Bob and I don't need one. And that goes in the file. So that 3 years from now, something happens, they go, oh, we didn't know. Yeah, Bob told you to get the home inspection.
There you go. Take a look at some numbers.
Yes, sir. This Week in Real Estate. That one. There we go. There were 73 new listings came on the market.
That's a lot.
It is a lot, and it's up. That's like I say, that's what we're seeing. But there were 11 commercial properties come up. 11 businesses that are available now. We talk about people coming here and starting a new life and being able to do stuff. There's a lot of properties in a variety of sizes and locations that I always wanted to. This is your chance. 11 commercial properties, 21 parcels of land, 41 homes came on the market, so that is a lot. They range in price from $52,000 to $895,000. There were 25 sales, 2 commercial properties, 8 parcels of land, 17 homes sold. Those homes ranged in a price from $76,000 to $675,000. Average sale price this week was $285,000 with 102 days on market. 9 properties expired. There were 23 residential price changes, and we're seeing that we're a little more realistic with some of the prices. There's 45 residential pendings waiting to close. Currently, there's 316 homes listed on the MLS that you could walk in and buy. Year to date, for 2024, there's been 213 homes have sold. The average sale price this year is $236,000 with 89 days on market. For 2023, there had been 235 homes that sold with an average sale price of $218,000 with 93 days on market. In 2022, there had been 304 sales with an average sale price of $222,000. 21, there had been 275 homes, Average sale price of 185. So it really gives you an idea of how things have blown up. In 2020, the first year of COVID, there had been 246 sales with an average sale price of 156. In 19, last year before COVID, there had been 225 sales with an average sale price of 147. So you can see how the market has changed here. People want to come here. We've bought all the homes that were vacant, all the homes that were even thinking about being repoed and stuff. All of that is off the market. I mean, there's nothing to show people when it comes to vacant homes. There's like nothing. We're helping people listing appointments we've been on, oh, I got so much stuff, I don't know what I'm going to do. And we can help with all of that. We've done this numerous times. We've helped people with big projects, barns full of stuff, all the way to just thinking you got too many knickknacks and stuff. People, oh, my house is so messy, and you go in there, it's like walking into the White House. It's gorgeous. So we can help you with all of that. You want to give my honey a call. She's at 870-405-0793. The website's retiredtoarkansas.net. The whole MLS is on there, and you can look and see homes in your area, get some ideas, but we'll be happy to come out and walk you through what you've got to do and help you get across the finish line and get you moved on to the next home and get you the right home for the right time of your life.
There you go. That's been This Week in Real Estate with Mr. Bob Zadora. 870-405-0793 is the number. Retiredtoarkansas.net is their website. We'll be back with Friday Sports in just a moment.